How are we? I'm all auraed up, look. I'm all set up on the aura. Let's have a little look. Sleep 94, optimal. Readiness 93, optimal. Nice timing. Great job. Pausing and recharging your body and mind. Your well-timed nap improved your readiness score. I'm getting praise for napping. Bit of hydration. Always hydrate before you caffeinate. That's my little morning setup. Straight out of bed, onto the red light box, 10 minutes, hydrate, daily intentions, morning journal entry, a little bit of mindful intentions, and what am I grateful for? I haven't actually written what I'm grateful for today. What am I grateful for today? What was nice yesterday? Watching a podcast with JK, bit of Gabor Mate, grateful for that. Today we're doing a whole foods full day of eating. I feel like with the rise in whole foods, it's come at a detriment to taste and flavour. That doesn't need to happen. So we're going to be using the basics, the oats, the sweet potatoes, the rices, but we're going to zhuzh it up, as Jamie says. So stay tuned, ladies and gents. I'm going to finish my journal. We'll go for a little walk, get some expenditure in, get some steps in. We'll grab a coffee, and we'll just have a nice day together.
There's something wrong with this man, Mr. Shaw.
He's all right.
He's sick.
But mind your own business.
He needs help.
Extremely underrated coffee.
Don't worry about the receipt, I'll just take coffee. Cheers, mate. Thank you. So,
Take care. Client check-in's done. The time is 4 minutes to 12. A little late, some may consider for breakfast, but I always like to get in a good 18 to 20 hour fast, and I like the fasted state, the cognitive benefits of caffeine and nicotine in the morning. I like to divide my day using my training session, so hard work before my training session, client starts and check-ins, go and train, eat, and then we've got my light work. So today's meal, we could just go chopping board and eggs, but we want to inject a little bit of flavor into the situation. So we're going to do some pesto eggs. You'll require some pesto, either sun-dried tomato or green, whatever your preference. Obviously the eggs, I've got a little bit of chili jam here, some feta and some fresh herbs. I'm using sourdough. Best choice of bread at the moment, I would say, is Jason's. They do it in pretty much every single supermarket, or if you've got a local bakery, then just go and grab yourself a nice sourdough. Listen, we all like the old bleached white bread. Sometimes I head down to the newsagents and get some of the shite stuff. You slap a bit of bacon, crispy bacon in there. It's beautiful. But we're all about optimizing the digestion here, improvements in the gut microbiome, which will be seen from obviously fiber and also the fermentation process of the bread. Alongside that, I've got my overnight oats. Let's jump into yesterday, a previous version of the self. Eckhart, so I won't be happy with that. But for the sake of this video, let's jump into how I make these, and then we'll come back to the present. Time for the eagerly anticipated Chunky Monkey overnight oats. You'll need some plant milk. I use almond, cacao powder, maple syrup, Greek yogurt, a banana. We use 50 grams of dark chocolate, oats, and some walnuts. So always use a 1-to-1 ratio. So whatever amount of oats you're using, plus the cacao powder, plus the cinnamon, do a 1-to-1. So in this case, I'm using 50 grams of oats, 15 grams of cacao powder, and 10 grams of cinnamon. Therefore, I'm using around about 75 ml of almond milk. If it's not enough and it's too dry, add a splash more. But this is the sort of consistency that you want to achieve. Almost like those little balls of chocolate flakes you used to use at school. Smash up 50 grams of banana and then just evenly spread that out. That's your base layer. Time for the mid layer. 100 grams of Greek yogurt, 10 ml of maple syrup, and give that a mix. Again, then evenly spread, so flatten it out across the center. And then for our topping, 20 grams of dark chocolate. I'm using 70% here, 10 ml of almond milk, and 10 grams of the Greek yogurt. Crush up your walnuts, add it all into a glass container, give it a little mix, and then layer that on top. So that will be your bottom layer, your mid layer, and then your top layer. And then you can put that in the fridge ready for later on. Second part of the brekkie, we're using 15 grams of the sun-dried tomato pesto. Fry that off for a couple of seconds and then add in your eggs. Whilst your eggs are cooking, finally slice up some fresh herbs. And then what you can do is with your overnight oats, add some decoration. I've just got a little bit of banana here and some additional walnuts. Then simply plate. Again, for your protein source, you can use salmon, turkey bacon, regular bacon. I'm using some salmon. Crumble up some feta and then add in some chili jam. I'm using the chili jam from Tracklements, and then adding in some fresh herbs. And there we go. That is breakfast served. All right, so there we go. Some pesto eggs. I'm serving it with some salmon. If you want to pull back on the fats from the salmon, then you could potentially look at bacon medallions or like turkey bacon. If you wanted to, just to add in some additional protein so we can get our numbers for the day that we've got. I've not yet tasted this. I need to do an Instagram thing, so I don't want to, muck it up. I could do a bit of Inception, but I don't want to muck up the shot. So there we go, some sourdough, egg, salmon, and we've got our overnight oats as well, with some banana in there and some walnuts. Time is 12:20, so if I weren't filming it, it'd been a lot quicker than that, but it just goes to show, it doesn't have to just be eggs on a board or just plain old eggs. In terms of volume, if you are in the deep stage of a dieting phase, then you can add spinach, rocket, tomatoes, peppers to amplify it a little bit. Make sure satiety is in a good spot. I'm gonna have this now, allow at least 60 to 90 minutes digestion, and then we shall go and train. Right, this is gonna prove quite a troublesome training session. I forgot the little clip on my tripod, so I have to balance act on the machines with my phone. So we're in for horizontal push, which is essentially chest. We've got some incline work, some flat work, a bit of triceps, and then we've got a squat as well, a Smith machine squat. Open up all of my sessions with some abdominal work. So today we've got the Cybex crunch, and yes, let's crack on with this session, shall we? So the goal for me right now is not necessarily to fuck myself up too much. That's not the goal. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder, nor am I still one. So it's still about progressively overloading, but doing it in a way whereby it's not impeding too much on my recovery for my runs and my cycle. So I'm still looking to progress, but probably not at the rate that I would see in previous off seasons. But like I said, I've been there, I've done that, I got a t-shirt. 2020 was a very successful off season for me. I remember getting to 115, 116 kilo. So I know what it's like. I do miss those days sometimes, but my priorities and my concerns have changed massively. So take the movement like this. Last week was 3 sets of 6 at 60 kilo. This week I'm gonna try and go for 7. So I'm still making progressions, and I'm training close to proximity to failure. Not every single set is the failure. If I train like that, like I have done in the past, and try to tick both boxes, my recovery and performance drops off massively. I remember trying to do that for my high rocks, it just didn't work. So at this current moment in time, during this particular phase, it's very much about keeping fresh, keeping recovered, keeping performance in a really good area, still training hard, but doing it in a manner that, like I said, isn't going to impact my running and my cycling and potentially swimming too much. Big fan of the split. This horizontal vertical mixed match with push and pull is fantastic. It's also allowed me to drive a lot more arm volume in, which is I'm not complaining about, because I'm one of the very few people that actually like to train their arms. So I'm doing 6 sets of biceps, 6 sets of triceps twice per week, and just tagging them on to the end of these sessions, which is really enjoyable. But yeah, it's allowing me to perform, allowing me to recover, allowing me to still get strong, allowing me to increase my frequency of runs. So all boxes are being ticked quite nicely at the moment. It's a very, very nice split indeed. Glad I came across Mr. Joe Delaney's post the other day talking about it, so get in. 2 tricep exercises done. I'll make sure that I do 1 overhead and then 1 down by my side, and then just do that twice per week. For legs today, we've got 3 sets of Smith machine squats. I've always very much favoured a Smith machine squat. I think when I'm more fixed and locked in, I just perform a lot better. I've never been a good barbell back squat. I used to do it a lot when I was a kid, but we were very poor form, and I think that's the reason why I got bad knees today. But yeah, never been a huge barbell back squat fan. Maybe it's a discipline I should get good at, but for the time being, I just use the Smith. That was a great workout, yeah. Now we need to repair the muscles. We've broken down the muscles. So post-workout, this is a really super simple and really easy post-workout meal or lunch meal. This can be made the night before, or it can be made fresh. All you require is sweet potato, carbohydrate sauce, and then we've got some red pepper. We've got some smoked tomato paste. You could use like a harissa paste. You could use like an old El Paso barbecue, the powder, the seasoning. Feta, because I'm a feta slut. I love a bit of feta, me. Got to have some feta, and then we're going to mix it with the fresh herbs. And then for our protein source, we've got some chicken breast. So let's get to work. Let's get the oven on. I'm not an air fryer guy, carcinogenic. It's all about that protection. So 200 degrees. I don't know the equivalent to an air fryer, so if anyone knows the conversion, then crack on in the comment section. To begin, give the sweet potato a couple of sprays of the olive oil. So I'm using this. What is the brand? Is that a Napolina? Extra virgin olive oil. Nothing in it. 100% olive oil. Give it a little spray and then a rub with some salt. And then put it in the microwave for 5 Minuten. That is 5 minutes. 5 minutes in the microwave. Whilst the sweet potato is in the microwave, we just want to very thinly slice not only our red pepper, but also our chicken. So you might, if you're using chicken breasts, want to butterfly it. Today I'm using 150 grams. Then what you want to do is add about 25 grams of your whatever desired paste or powder you're using. Give it a mix. The good thing about this is everything takes 10 minutes. Chicken takes 10 minutes, and then the sweet potato back in the oven takes 10 minutes to crisp off as well. While that's cooking, gents, should we multitask? I know we don't get a good name for ourselves in terms of our inability to multitask, but let's do exactly that. Let's go against the grain. So let's prep our dinner because it tastes a little better when it's marinated. So what you're going to need for dinner is some cod. You're going to need some ginger puree, some smoked garlic puree, some mango chutney, curry powder, garam masala, lemon juice, and then some Greek yogurt. Let's get a little bit dirty. So for the marinade, in a glass container or whatever it is you want to mix it in, put in 20 grams of Greek yogurt, teaspoon of garam masala, teaspoon of curry powder, teaspoon of ginger puree, a teaspoon of garlic puree, a decently sized teaspoon of mango chutney, and then finally squeeze in the juice of a lemon. Give it a mix, and then once it's mixed, get your cod in there, sort of coat it as if you would it be a batter, and then we can put that in the fridge for later. 10 minutes is up, so the chicken and peppers are done along with the sweet potato. Just finely chop some fresh herbs, and then we're using 15 grams of feta, and then just mix the two, chop the two together. It doesn't have to be too fine, just so we've got a nice topping for the chicken. Cut the sweet potato down the middle and then just give it a good split. And then what we can do is layer the chicken inside it. Then finally all we need to do is add our feta cheese and fresh herbs. Beautiful. There we go. High protein post-workout meal. Done. And there you go, simple, quick, easy. We're prepping for dinners. You talk about people, I ain't got time to do this. One byproduct of eating like this is that mental clarity and the removal of brain fog. When you're consuming these sugary quick fixes, the protein bars, the puddings, and you're seeing these big spikes and these big dips, you get that brain fog. When you eat like this, you're more inclined to consume more foods like this. You can wash up, prep food. You could do this all on a Sunday. You could batch cook Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 150, 300, 450 grams of chicken, red pepper, sweet potato in the oven, and then boom, 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 you've got your lunch, you can do your dinners, and you can do your breakfast fresh, or you can even do your breakfast overnight. But it's the feeling, I can't stress enough, it's the feeling. Obviously the byproduct of eating like this is improvements in gut motility and digestion, improvements in the gut microbiome, improvements because it's nutrient-dense food as well. We're getting a whole host of vitamins. But again, what I try and stress to my clients when they do send me their foods, and I say, look, let's try and make switches from X, Y, and Z to this. First thing they say within the first couple of weeks is, Tom, that mental clarity is there. The brain fog has gone. I'm not crashing. I'm not dipping at lunchtime. I'm seeing sustained energy. So, yeah, gonna have this now. The time is 4 o'clock. Got about 2 or 3 hours worth of light work to do. And then we'll have some dinner. Do you want to go to dinner with me? You don't know, you fancy some dinner? No, I'm alright, got a boyfriend. Dinner time, so set your oven to 200 degrees. What you'll need is some chickpeas, some regular peas, garam masala, curry powder. I'm using some quinoa, packet rice from Tilda. tomato paste, red onion. So put in your cod that we marinated, that will be cooking for 20 minutes. Then just cut up some of the onion. What you then want to do is for the sauce, add in some Greek yogurt, some maple syrup and a bit of lemon. Fry off some red onions, then add in a dollop of mango chutney. Add in some of your tomato paste, garam masala, curry powder, chickpeas, and then your peas. Cook them off for a minute or two, and then add in your packet rice again for another minute or two, and then serve. Add it into a plate, layer on your cod, add on your creamy yogurt, and then I'll just finish here with some pomegranate and some fresh herbs. And that is dinner done and dusted. Full day of eating, can we consider it whole foods? I mean, we're using whole foods. There's going to be a few packet rice, you can't consider it. It was just a little bit of an insight into how we can use whole foods in a slightly more tasty fashion, as opposed to, nothing against the chopping boards, big fan of the chopping boards, you know? Keep things nice and simple when you're just doing the chopping board, egg, salmon, but gets a little samey, gets a little bit boring after a while. So we had some eggs, or a different variation, 2 eggs, we had some cod and rice, and then we had some sweet potato and some chicken and some red pepper. So, oh yeah, and the overnight oats as well. Stay tuned, I feel like I'm tapping into something good here with the oats. I did a really good lemon one the other day, lemon cheesecake overnight oats, banging. I'm gonna try and do a tiramisu one and a carrot cake one. I'm not using any whey protein here, so I'm just using the oats, whatever additions, plus the Greek yogurt, as opposed to adding in a whey protein. I'd rather get my protein from whole sources like the cod, the eggs, the salmon, the chicken. Okay, right. I don't know when this is going out. I've been slack, it should have gone out on Thursday, so it'll be out when it goes out. Have a lovely bank holiday. Carnival for me on Sunday, which should be good. And yeah, have an absolute blast. Any questions, get at me below. Speak to you very soon. Love you all. Thank you, good night, and much love.